Today on People Now, Anthony Bourdain's 11-year-old daughter bravely performing at a concert after her father's tragic death.
It is official. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have announced their first royal tour. We'll tell you where they're headed.
Did Eminem use gunshot sound effects during his set at Bonnaroo? We'll tell you what he's saying after backlash from fans.
The stars came out for Broadway's biggest night. From the show to the carpet, we have the biggest moments from the Tonys.
And actor Taye Diggs is here live with all the scoop on his new movie, Set It Up.
It's all today on People Now. Let's go.
Happy Monday, everyone.
Woo,
Welcome to People Now. Here we are. I don't know if you guys woke up to eat and maybe a big stack of pancakes this morning. Maybe you wanted a mouth-watering burger.
Okay.
You're in luck.
You're in luck. IHOP just announced that they have changed their name to IHOB.
With a B.
Yes, standing for International House of Burgers. And the internet's going wild over this. We want to know what you think of the name change, so tweet us your reactions.
Important to note.
Important to note. We don't want to break this to you. It's
not permanent.
Not permanent.
But we'll explain it more later. We're going to talk a little more about it. Because if it were permanent, that would be an international travesty.
Yes, it would. Nice one, Jeremy.
First, guys, here's what you need to know and what's trending today. Starting on a more serious note here, Anthony Bourdain's 11-year-old daughter took the stage over the weekend with a reminder of her father just days after he was discovered dead at 61 on Friday morning in France from an apparent suicide. In her first post on social media since Bourdain's death, the chef and TV host's ex-wife, Atavia Busia, shared a photo of their only child, Ariane, with a microphone in her hand at Drum, which is a music venue in New York City. She captioned the picture, quote, "Our little girl had her concert today. She was amazing, so strong and brave. She wore the boots you bought her. I hope you are having a good trip wherever you are." Really heartbreaking there. And a source who worked closely with Bourdain previously told People exclusively that the late celebrity chef saw fatherhood as one of the bright spots of his life. They said, quote, "It was quite evident that Tony was a lighter human being around his daughter. When he spoke about her, his eyes danced. He talked about her constantly." And during what would be his final interview with People, Bourdain noted that it was important that he never shot in two cities back-to-back for his CNN series Anthony Bourdain Parts Unknown, so that he could spend 5 days a month with Ariane, who lives with his ex-wife in New York. Now, Bourdain also said in February that he felt some responsibility to at least try to live since his daughter Ariane was born. All right, guys, on to this. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have their first royal tour on the calendar. Now, the couple, who recently returned from their honeymoon, will head to Australia, Fiji, the Kingdom of Tonga, and New Zealand in the fall. Meghan previously revealed that she would join Harry at the next Invictus Games, which will be held in Sydney this year from October 20th to the 27th. And now Kensington Palace has confirmed the tour will happen around the same time as the Paralympic-style competition. The countries included in the tour are all part of the Commonwealth of 53 nations linked to the UK, which means the trip will be an important step for Meghan, who is set to take a key role in the Commonwealth along with her new husband. Now, another important step for her will be her first solo appearance alongside the Queen. That's set to happen this Thursday when the two will visit the town of Chester. It's about 165 miles northwest of London, and we'll be looking out for that. Well, guys, Eminem's set on Friday night at the Tennessee music festival Bonnaroo has been criticized for gunshot noises that fans reported hearing. Now, here's a fan video from Twitter where you can hear the alleged gunshot sound. Listen. All right, so there you have a little taste of it. As you can tell, it sounds very similar to a gunshot, but a spokesperson for Eminem tells People, quote, "Contrary to inaccurate reports, Eminem does not use gunshot sound effects during his live show. The effect used by Eminem in his set at Bonnaroo was a pyrotechnic concussion, which creates a loud boom. He has used this effect, as have hundreds of other artists, in his live show for over 10 years, including previous U.S. festival dates in 2018, without complaint." That was their statement. Now, following the performance, some fans shared their outrage on social media. One user writing in part, "Being at a festival and concert in these current times brings new concerns and fears. Had to leave Eminem's set after third gunshot at Bonnaroo because panic was setting in my section. Extremely realistic and scary." But some fans pointed out that Eminem has previously used gunshot noises in his recordings. One fan tweeting, "The Kill You outro gunshot has been part of the Eminem live show since 2001. Why all of a sudden is Tennessee getting all cut up about it? The millions of people who have seen M do it hadn't had a problem. You don't deserve Eminem." There you go. Now we move on to this. Wow, what a performance. One small piece of a larger performance there, and there wasn't a dry eye left in Radio City after student survivors of February's deadly Parkland shooting made a surprise appearance at Sunday night's Tony Awards, singing an emotional rendition of Seasons of Love from the Broadway musical Rent. Amy Schumer and other celebrities were seen wiping away tears during the song. Now, the students, who were all part of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School's drama department, also celebrated their teacher, Melody Hersfeld, who was awarded the coveted Excellence in Theater Education Prize. The honor includes a $10,000 grant for her school's drama program. Hersfeld telling Time, quote, "To be a teacher who might have aspired to do something like this at one point in her life and found her true calling in producing and working with children, especially in high school, to have any significant light shed on that is really deeply meaningful." Now, Hersfeld hid 60 of her students in the school's drama room for over 2 hours as a former student opened fire in a nearby building. Of course, great to see the Parkland community still supporting each other through this time. Andrew, that was a really very emotional moment. One of the highlight moments for sure from the Tonys.
Yeah, amazing they were able to perform, and definitely you tear up when you watch that.
Yeah, it was emotional. Lots of, it really is true, not a dry in the place, or I think most of the people watching as well. And you have even more from Sunday night's Tony Awards.
Yes, I do. We are kicking things off with that star-studded red carpet. Catherine McPhee, Kerry Washington, and more A-listers graced the Tony Awards red carpet, rocking sculpted gowns, fitted dresses, and super sleek tuxes. The award show even featured some new faces, as comedian Tiffany Haddish and rock and roll legend Bruce Springsteen showed up for the big show. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel standout Rachel Brosnahan was also in attendance, stepping out for her first red carpet since the death of her aunt, Kate Spade. The actress wore a pink floral Dolce & Gabbana dress and looked beautiful with natural makeup and her hair swept back in a low bun. Hosted by Sarah Bareilles and Josh Groban, the night features some big headline-making moments, including this sweet acceptance speech from Andrew Garfield, who won for his role in Angels in America. Take a look.
"We are all made perfectly, and we all belong. So I dedicate this award to the countless LGBTQ people who have fought and died to protect that spirit, to protect that message. We are all sacred and we all belong. So let's just bake a cake for everyone who wants a cake to be baked."
Beautiful moment there. And legendary performer Bruce Springsteen thanked the Broadway community for, quote, "making me feel welcome on your block." The rocker was honored with a special Tony for his critically acclaimed intimate one-man show, Springsteen on Broadway. The 23-time Grammy winner, who conceived, wrote, and directed the musical, also performed his 1984 hit, My Hometown, for the audience. Take a look.
You tassel my hair and say, "Son, take a good look around."
Other big winners included Laurie Metcalf, who won her second Tony for the Featured Actress in a Play category just weeks after ABC's Roseanne cancellation. The Band's Visit, which won 10 Tonys, including Lead Actor, Lead Actress, and Best Musical. Quite the impressive list there, way to go. And of course, we can't forget about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which took home 6 Tonys, including the award for Best Play. Big congratulations to all the winners and nominees. It looks like a really fun night. Okay, so who wants tickets to this gun show?
Oh.
Yes, that's Real Housewives of New Jersey star Teresa Giudice competing in her very first bodybuilding competition over the weekend. The 46-year-old, yes, you heard that right, 46, spent months training for the bikini division. A source telling People, quote, "She's been training since December. She wanted a new challenge and pushed herself to the extreme. Right now, she's in the best shape of her life, even more fit than when she got home from prison." Now, Teresa edged out 4 women to score 3rd place in the competition, and this may not be the last time you see her flexing on stage. The source adds the Mama 4 had the time of her life and may do it again in the future. You go, girl. And Teresa had the support of her tight-knit family along the way, posing alongside her brother Joe, sister-in-law Melissa, and their 3 kids. And fellow housewife Dolores Catania and her son Frankie also showed up to support her. Gotta say, she looks fierce. And those are your Star Tracks for today.
Stay with us, guys. We are getting the stars of TV Land's hit show Younger to spill the deets on season 5. Plus, actor Taye Diggs is joining us live to talk about his new Netflix movie. It's called Set It Up. He's talking about that and so much more. Stick around.
All right, we've been asking about your thoughts on IHOP's name change to International House of Burgers, IHOB. Let's check in on the reactions from our question of the day.
Oh my gosh, IHOB. Andy called it the stupidest thing ever.
All right, Shopper Girl 1 says, wrong on so many levels.
Wordsmith Cat
Nice
says,
Twitter handle.
even International House of Bacon would have been better. Well, guess what? They actually ran a poll on their Twitter account, IHOP did, asking people what they think the B stands for. Bacon was one of the choices.
Okay.
And then, I mean, there are a few other things as well. A lot of people thought bacon.
Yeah, we have our resident IHOP expert over here.
Turns out it's burgers,
well,
everybody.
with the big announcement came a lot of juicy tweets, so let's see how Twitter is reacting. I mean, I woke up and this was trending, so this was a big moment, I think.
Let's take a look here, if we have them. I don't get it, so confusing. Yeah, that kind of sums up what a lot of people
find out IHOP will stand for International House of Burgers.
Okay, there it is. IHOP changing their name to International House of Burgers is like your grandma saying from now on, she's your aunt. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. We can't just shift it all out of nowhere. But guys, as we said earlier, hate to break it to you, it's temporary.
It is temporary.
They're not going around changing all the signs now.
Yeah, it's a marketing thing. I think it's working because guess what? We're
talking about it. And guess what? I didn't know they had burgers before. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Now I know they do.
And they're trying to focus on their burgers. So I think it was pretty smart of them.
IHOP, if we don't get a big old stack of pancakes and burgers out of this promotion, I don't know. Come on. Guys, keep tweeting us your thoughts on International House of Boigas. No. But now, I don't know. Now we move on to this. Watch. We can have fun here.
Oh, hello, Miss Trapp. Who is this person? Oh, this is Lauren Heller, a terrific young publicist who just hung out her own shingle.
Heller good PR. We're not great. We're Heller good. BT Dubs love your work. Love you. Love this. Love this. Love that. You know, if you ever need to outsource anything, I mean anything, text me, call me, at me. I mean it.
Maybe I'll slide into your DMs.
Oh, please do, Diva. Give me.
Obviously, you guys can't tell us too many specifics about season 5. I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions to see if you can piece things together for us, all right? So, while filming this season, do any characters cry?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
Do your characters cry?
I get weepy. I get weepy. Yes. Not like,
no,
like
for
weepy.
me.
Yeah, all right. Do any characters get too drunk and they do something they regret?
Yes.
Regret, though.
Yes.
Yes. Let's show them how it's done.
Who has more one-liners that will make us laugh this season, Diana or Lauren?
Oh, that's sort of unfair. I love your one-liner. We get the best lines.
We do. It's a secret, so don't tell anyone because we want it to stay that way.
To my friends.
Lahayam, bitches! Who goes on more dates this season, Diana, Liza, or Lauren?
Liza's going on a date left and right.
But I go out.
You know who wait, this person is not included on the list. No, I can't say anything.
Wait, what? It's okay, we're not filming or anything. You can tell.
Those are just furniture.
My lips are sealed.
Approximate number of punches thrown this season.
We just did the same.
You guys did the same look to the right.
I think a no punches.
Oh, no. Punch, yes, no, episode, yes. I'm gonna say one, though.
Oh, yeah, there's a punch.
Yeah.
We know everything about them, what they like, what they don't like. We are the men behind the curtain.
Does Rick have good Yankees tickets?
No. He watches from the bleachers like a common peasant. Yeah, of course he does.
We need the people in these 2 seats to make out.
The world's our oyster!
Yeah, I love a good kiss cam. In the new movie, Set It Up, 2 overworked assistants concoct a crazy plot to make their workaholic bosses fall in love so they can finally have a life outside of the office.
It sounds like a great plan, and we're joined today by one of the bad bosses himself, Taye Diggs. Welcome. It's good to see you. Look, we know you can look good in a suit, as we saw there, but my gosh.
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
what a dress,
I'm in a pattern cut type of mood.
Well, it's working. It is working for you. So pretty much within like the first 5 minutes of the movie, we reach terrible boss status, right? I mean, it's a hard hit right away.
Yes.
I want to know which one of your nightmare previous bosses were you channeling for this? You had someone in mind.
Oh, I think it's just another side of me that I don't get.
Is that it?
Yeah.
This is just you with your assistant?
Fun. Yeah, I haven't. Well, no. It's the person that I wish I could be.
Yeah.
But I just had a ball. I had a ball every day.
It looked fun.
We laughed all day, every day. I hadn't done a romantic comedy in a while, and that's my favorite genre. So we had a really good time.
Yeah, it looked like a fun time. Have you ever been on the other side of things where you were an assistant or had to do something starting out in your career that was hard or working with a tricky?
Just me and my father. No, I got pretty lucky. I started performing right away, so I was able to kind of avoid that whole boss thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's get real for a second, then we'll move on from this.
Oh, we're gonna get real.
It's a safe space.
Okay.
I just want to know, in real life, as the star Taye Diggs, what's the most regrettable thing that you've ever asked an assistant to, like, oh, I gotta have coffee with all this? I mean, have you put anyone through the ringer a little bit on the on-set demands? Right? Like, at some point, come on.
I'm gonna plead the fifth.
Okay. We'll see if somebody's out there. We can get the real answer from the actual assistant. All right.
You've worked with your co-star Lucy Liu before on Ally McBeal, the musical Chicago. Now, a couple weeks ago on The Talk, you said that she was actually your celebrity hall pass.
She was my celebrity crush back when I was married. I remember Adina's was Colin Farrell.
Okay.
And then she immediately got a movie with him. And then mine was, at the time, Lucy Liu. And that's right when I got Ally McBeal. So.
Okay. Was that a serious hall pass or just a jokey thing you had with her?
Oh, it was just a joke. That would never be serious.
Yeah, right. Come on.
Do you know what Lucy said when she found out, though?
That she wished she would have married me?
Yeah, she said that, well, she said, he's so handsome and kind, had I known.
Winky wink.
So what do you say to that?
Right?
Yeah, right. She's lying through her teeth.
All right, well, go ahead.
She said she calls you Tater Tot.
Yes.
So what's behind that nickname?
Just Tay.
Okay.
Yeah, she just added her
tot. It makes sense. Yeah.
Right, Tater Tot's a little delicious.
She sees you as a little tater tot.
Nuggets, a term of endearment.
Do you have a reverse term of endearment for her?
Just bitch. In this movie, she is, though.
In the movie.
Yeah.
All right, Glenn Powell and Zoe Deutsch. Moving quickly along. Glenn Powell and Zoe Deutsch play your and Lucy's young assistants in the movie.
Yeah.
They're actually going to be stopping by later on this week. We're going to be talking to them.
That's too bad.
What should we know about them? Did they pull any shenanigans that we should give them a hard time about? What's the deal?
You know what? Honestly, watching them really gave me kind of hope in the future because of this business, because their timing was like, you know, Lucy and what's her, I Love Lucy, and then her husband.
Oh yeah, Desi.
Yeah, they had that kind of very quick chemistry going, and it was really great to watch. So I was very proud. Pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, that's awesome. Speaking of your younger counterparts, before you go, I want to talk about your son Walker. Father's Day
my man.
is this weekend. Do you have any plans for Father's Day?
I'm gonna go see a Yankee game with him, and because he's in LA, so he's flying in to do that, and then we'll see. I'm sure I'll probably draw a cute little something that I'll tattoo on my arm eventually.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So, look, last day of school coming up. What's the summer look like for Walker? What's his idea of a perfect summer? Is it like summer camp outside playing, or is it, you know, like, is he like video game kid? I don't know.
Every one of his summers is the perfect summer.
Yeah.
He's got a great life. He's going to camp.
Okay. He's doing the camp
first
thing.
time to camp. So I think me and his mom are going to be the ones that are going to be suffering.
Yeah, he's out there.
Yeah, it'll be the longest time I think both of us have ever spent away from him.
Oh wow, okay, that's a big moment.
Yeah, it is.
It is, yeah.
Thanks for reminding me.
It's gonna be really tough.
We sort of mentioned dating earlier with the whole hall pass thing. What's Walker's opinion of you dating? Is he?
You said you wanted to date me.
No.
Weird.
But I told you, this is leading somewhere. This is a safe space.
I wouldn't say no. But is he?
Should I actually leave?
Is Walker protective of you dating, or?
Just kidding.
Yeah, right.
He is now getting more kind of candid and honest, and he said the other day that he doesn't want me to have a girlfriend.
Oh.
He said, I want you to myself.
Yeah.
Said,
I like that.
Then he said, is that okay to say, Dad? And I was like, yeah, man, I want you to be able to tell me anything. Okay, I get that.
I love that.
I hear you.
That's cute.
He's awesome.
As you move forward as a dad, look, I've got a little 6-year-old girl, and I start thinking about like the dating game coming up. But like, what do you think you're going to tell him about like how to approach that type of thing? You know, what's the piece of advice?
Oh man, I have no idea.
Just wait till we get there.
You know, be polite, and don't worry about waiting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like, it's cool to wait. You have
All
to
right.
rush.
Absolutely.
I think. He won't listen to me.
He won't let, no, it's got to come from someone else, but maybe he'll watch this tape back accidentally or something. Look, Set It Up is fantastic. It's so
Good.
fun. Thank you so
I'm
much
glad
for
you
sharing
liked
a little
it.
bit
Thank you
with
guys.
us. Yeah, thanks,
Yes.
man. Great to talk to you.
Nice to see you.
Guys, be sure to catch Set It Up when it drops on Netflix this Friday, June 15th. Watch it.
Woo.
I remember landing in a little plane on the Port Kaituma airstrip that's not very far from Jonestown. The air is so thick and so hot, you can't hardly breathe. It was dark and I was scared. We came up to this little gated off area and there were guys standing there with guns. And at that moment, I knew I had just entered the gates of hell.
Wow, nearly 4 decades ago, more than 900 members of the People's Temple religious sect committed mass suicide by drinking cyanide-laced grape punch. Now, the Jonestown massacre is still the largest mass suicide in modern history and is the focus of this week's episode of People Magazine Investigates Cults on Investigation Discovery. We're excited to be joined now by People crime reporter Elaine Heredias. Thank you for being here. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
This is such an incredible story and so bizarre in so many ways.
So crazy. And the entire cult was run by Jim Jones. So, first of all, you know, who is this guy and how is he able to convince so many people to follow him in committing suicide?
Well, he came from the Midwest and he started having, you know, these church gatherings and he was very charismatic. People loved what he had to say. This was in the mid-50s. By the mid-60s, this was all sort of new, this kind of communal living. And he got all of these people, hundreds of people, to follow him to Northern California, San Francisco.
Wow.
And so they followed him, and he was charismatic, and everyone liked listening to him.
Yeah. There's also those pieces of his personality and stories that have come out about how he kind of grew more erratic over time due to drugs. He'd have sex with some of the congregants, practice suicide drills, all this kind of stuff. Look, people have heard of him, but then what we're getting here is this insight into one of the survivors of Jonestown, a young girl named Tracy, featured in the episode. How did she and some of her family escape?
Well, they had finally gone to Guyana. There were thousands of people there, and the local politicians went to go check it out.
Wow.
And they said, if you want to leave, you can leave. So 15 people actually were leaving, and among them was Tracy and her family. There was a firefight on the tarmac, and at that point, they escaped into the jungle. By the time they returned from the jungle, 900 people were dead.
And she watched her mother die, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just a real tragic story for her.
It's been horrific. I mean, so that was, for her to leave, she lost her mother. Her family was able to escape, but this is something that she's lived with for 40 years.
And this is the crazy thing for me, though. So how did he convince them to actually commit suicide? Was there like a reason for that?
Because the military and legislators were coming.
Yeah.
And people were escaping, and by this point he was on drugs. He had the following of all of these people. They believed him, and it was, no, we're going to die rather than return to the U.S.
So many people. For the people that did escape, how did they cope with what happened to them, and how are they doing now?
For Tracy and her family, it has been a traumatic experience. For 40 years, it's something they live with. And she's had family members pass away, and she believes that it's from the grief and the stress of this life. I mean, she had physical scars as well as mental scars throughout her entire life.
And for her, I think she said that if she doesn't speak out, she feels like Jim Jones wins in some ways, right?
Right, so she will not remain quiet about it. She wants people to know that this can happen.
All right, well, Elaine, thank you so much for joining us today. Guys, you can make sure to watch People Magazine Investigates Cults. It airs Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Investigation Discovery. Guys, June 6th marked 50 years since the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy, and this People commemorative edition called The Kennedys, Jack and Jackie and Bobby and Ethel, pays tribute to RFK half a century later and takes a look at the many aspects of the Kennedy family that continue to garner public intrigue. Also, People's first ever podcast, Cover Up, digs into Ted Kennedy's infamous Chappaquiddick scandal that left one woman dead, scarred the Kennedy family, and changed the course of American presidential history. There's a lot to get to here. People's East Coast editor Liz McNeil heads up the Cover Up podcast. Liz, thank you for being here. There's so many interesting things. You investigated what really happened that night in that tiny Massachusetts island, July 18th, 1969. Ted Kennedy, of course, for people that know or that don't know, drove his car off a narrow bridge. It left his passenger, his 28-year-old Mary Jo Kopechne, dead in the process. It was this huge scandal. With the cover-up involved, so many discoveries from you. Let's start with this one. Mary Jo's mother, Gwen, always regretted that she had opposed an autopsy for her daughter. What's the story here?
It's one of the most heartbreaking details of the case that at the time, when they tried to exhume the body to do a belated autopsy, the family opposed it because they thought that it was to determine if Mary Jo was pregnant or not. And there had been so many rumors about the party and what had happened, and that they were just completely crushed. And she didn't understand that really the autopsy was so important to determine exactly how she died and exactly when she died. But she opposed it, and then in her later years, of course, she said it was her greatest regret.
Wow, and yeah, so trying to avoid maybe potential other scandal and things like that could have been wrapped up in that autopsy, really interesting. Another thing, or an aspect that you discuss is that the deputy sheriff saw Ted's car 90 minutes after Ted said that his car went over that bridge. A little discrepancy in the time, never really been accounted for or fully understood, has it?
Right, this is one of the great mysteries of this story, is that there's a sheriff, Deputy Sheriff Huck Look, who's coming home that night between 12:40, 12:45 a.m., and he sees Ted's car, looks lost. He gets out of the car, thinks maybe somebody needs my help. The car takes off. The next morning when he goes to the bridge and he sees the car being pulled out of the water, he says, "That's the car I saw last night." Now, he saw it 90 minutes after Ted said his car went over the bridge. And this 90-minute discrepancy has never been accounted for or fully explained.
Wow, okay, so of course that leaves more and more questions and potential for people to throw in their own narratives and things about what happened that night. I thought this was interesting as well. Mary Jo Kopechne's family is hoping, even still at some level, for a deathbed confession from someone who knows more about what happened that night, this many years later.
Yes, it's really sad because they really don't know really anything about, you know, the circumstances of her death except really the most basic pieces of information. And they're heartbroken that they never really understood what happened or why there's so much secrecy around it. So her cousin said to me that she still hopes that somebody will come forward with information, something to help them understand what happened, maybe some kind of closure or some kind of understanding.
Well, the story lives on. We've only kind of scratched the surface here. Liz, thank you so much for joining us. And guys, you can get so much more about the scandal on Chappaquiddick by listening to the Cover Up podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, wherever podcasts are available, and check out people.com/coverup. And if you want to share your thoughts and theories on the case, Cover Up has a Facebook group that listeners can join. Just search Cover Up. All right, guys, let's take one last look at what people are saying about IHOP's temporary name change to International House of Burgers.
IHOP. I can't say IHOP. I like it. Michelle says, who really thought this was a good idea?
Well,
they did.
They did, and they got the burgers coming. Now we know it. Nike Sav tweeted to us saying International House of Bankruptcy. Somebody get fired.
Diane says, love breakfast at IHOP. Never had a burger there. Never will. I don't know. I think you might. Now that
you know.
Now that you know.
Twitterverse, as we call it, as we love to say.
Love to say it.
Still going a little crazy over the news. Look, we got a few things here.
Host, hi, welcome to the International House of Burgers. Me. Nope.
What are the best uses of Bernie's finger pointing at
International House of Burgers. How about International House of Brunch?
I like that idea. See?
Or people were saying of breakfast.
International House of Breakfast.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
IHOP, what is you doing? Oh, this meme again.
Pancakes. Nope.
Looking
over the burger. Here we go. They could have revamped their menu and started serving breakfast drinks like mimosas, but no, these clowns want to compete in the oversaturated burger market with unseasoned beef.
Well,
wow.
I would say that mimosas is a little oversaturated too. There's so many brunch places.
And do we know that it's unseasoned?
I don't know, we don't.
We'll find out.
No, IHOP, no, you had one job. All you had to do was serve cinnamon pancakes every Sunday and everything would be okay. I don't even recognize you anymore. IHOP, you've changed. More like International House
of Lies.
Wow, this is getting a little dramatic.
If you give people something to be really fired up about. International House of Burgers, IHOB, that's like Trident rebranding as a furniture store. I don't completely get it, but I will say that it is a big leap.
It's obscure for us.
Yeah,
but...
I get it. All right. I hope they still have the short stack. Hashtag IHOB.
I think we've about covered every reaction you can have to this Groundbreaking news.
A lot of times in publicity, all they really want is a reaction.
No,
Guess what?
They got a reaction. It's trending on Twitter. Everyone's talking about it. And I bet now you're thinking you want to try a burger.
And we've dedicated a good chunk of time to it. You're welcome, IHOB.
Yeah, wait.
We've got hey, any other company need a marketing thing pushed out? We got you. Tomorrow, a new question of the day right here on People Now. Come on back at noon Eastern. And coming up tomorrow, the stars of The Bold Type are joining us live, spilling all the juicy details on what we need to expect for season 2. Plus, we're going to be breaking down tonight's episode of The Bachelorette. I cannot wait to see what happens tonight.
I know.
I love this season so far. I'm on board. We hope you guys are too. And we have a great panel the next morning every single week to break down everything that went on the previous night.
Yes, thank you so much for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from the cast of American Animals. Have a good day.
Bye, guys.
What's up? I'm Barry Keoghan.
I'm Blake Jenner.
I'm Jared Abrahamson.
And this is One Last Thing. My last guy's night was actually, I met up with some high school friends who went out to college here, and we went bar hopping.
My last guy's night out was Friday night in Vancouver. Went out with some buddies, hit this pub, Charlottetown. It was a good time.
Last song stuck in my head, Drake, God's Plan.
I don't wanna die for them to miss me.
Last song in my head, I was jamming out to it a lot before I got out here, was Finesse by Bruno Mars. It's a good one.
Last time I was starstruck was when I met Leonardo DiCaprio. I said, "Slaunch it to him." Yeah, top that.
I can't top that.
Last time I was starstruck, I met DMX in the airport. And I walked up to him and I was like, yo, X, I was like, you're a legend, man. And he was like, oh, thank you. This is why I do this. And then we were hugging. And, it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Last time I was starstruck, actually in LA, it was like an awards kind of party thing, and I saw Barry Jenkins. And I was kind of like, oh man, I love Moonlight, and I didn't know what to say. I was like,
cool.
He seems cool. Yeah, but I was stunned. He's awesome.
He's from Florida.
Yeah, he's from Miami. Yeah, and so am I. That's cool.